Letting a pet go is too hard, but it's even worse when the animal knows what's going on. This little dog knew she was going to be put down, so she cried for 7 days. But then a real miracle happened. Tilly had always been a well-loved and well-cared-for dog. Her family, the Petersons, adored her from the moment they saw her when she was just a puppy. They knew right then and there that she was the perfect pet for them, as her sweet and playful personality was exactly the kind of attitude they knew would fit right in with the family. After going through all the necessary paperwork to purchase Tilly, the family was elated when she was finally able to go home with them. They had always wanted a dog, as they all loved animals and thought dogs were the best. The whole family also loved going for walks and spending time outdoors, which they knew would be perfect for a dog, as he could go for long walks in all sorts of places, meaning he would get the exercise he needed. But things didn't exactly start off well for Tilly in her new home. Just a few weeks after arriving, the playful and curious little dog got a little carried away and ended up escaping from the home's garden. Maisie, Tilly's owner, was devastated to discover that her puppy was missing and began searching for her everywhere. It took a couple of hours, but luckily someone found her a few blocks from the Petersons' house. Thanks to Tilly's collar that had her information on it, the kind person was able to call Maisie and return the adventurous puppy to her. Finally reunited, Maisie began training Tilly to make sure she would never run away again. It was hard work, but definitely worth it, as Tilly became more reliable on and off leash, and both Maisie and the rest of her family felt they could trust her not to run away again. Over the years, Tilly lived a happy life, full of love and care. She never lacked for anything, and Maisie and her family made sure she was properly cared for and loved. However, as with many dogs the older Tilly got, the more health problems began to appear. She began to slow down and was not as quick to run and play, although she definitely did her best as it was one of her favorite things to do. As she got older, Maisie made sure to accommodate her to all the new struggles and obstacles that aging brought. She changed her diet to be better for her stomach, took her for shorter walks to make sure she didn't overexert herself, and even took her for a canine hydrotherapy session once a week, just to keep her joints and muscles moving properly. Despite all this hard work to keep her healthy, something happened that broke Maisie's heart. Tilly became seriously ill. Maisie noticed it one morning when she went down for breakfast. She prepared Tilly's food as she usually did, but instead of getting excited about her breakfast, the dog simply sniffed at it before walking away and lying down on her bed. Thinking that perhaps she simply wasn't hungry, Maisie left the food in Tilly's dish before going to work. But when the woman returned home later that evening, Tilly still hadn't touched her food. Maisie, a little concerned, tried to encourage her to eat the food, but Tilly simply wasn't interested. What was even more worrying, however, was the fact that it didn't look like Tilly had had anything to drink all day either. Knowing that something serious could happen if the dog didn't drink, Maisie decided to call her veterinarian and schedule an appointment. But when she arrived at the vet, the young woman wasn't prepared to hear exactly what was wrong with her dog. Apparently, Tilly had some internal health problems stemming from her brain. The vet knew there was nothing they could do to help the dog feel better. However, after seeing how much Maisie loved her dog, the vet decided not to put her to sleep right away, but instead gave her a medication that he hoped might help. Heartbroken by the news she had just received, Maisie took Tilly home with her to try to help the poor dog one last time. For the first few days, it seemed that Tilly's health was not improving at all. The dog was barely eating anything and drinking only very small amounts. Maisie became increasingly worried that she would wake up one morning to find that Tilly had passed away during the night. But because she loved her with all her heart, she was determined not to give her up. Maisie was willing to do whatever it took to give Tilly the best chance to overcome her illness and live on. However, the second night after taking Tilly home, the poor thing began to whimper and cry. It was almost as if she knew that this was her last week on Earth and that she would be put to sleep afterwards. Maisie tried to comfort her, but nothing seemed to work. No amount of hugging, cuddling, fussing, and even bribing with treats would get Tilly to stop whining. It broke Maisie's heart to see her furry best friend, whom she had raised from a puppy, be so sad. As the week progressed and Tilly's whining continued, Maisie began to think that maybe putting her down would be the best thing for her. The dog seemed to be in pain, judging by her constant crying, and Maisie didn't want her to suffer, even if she wasn't ready to say goodbye. Still, Maisie persevered and continued to give Tilly the medication the vet had given her in hopes that it would work and help her feel better. As the end of the week came to a close, Maisie took Tilly to the vet again, dreading saying goodbye to her best friend. She had had Tilly since she was a puppy and really didn't know what she would do without her four-legged friend, whom she loved with all her heart. She knew that no one could ever replace her and that she would probably never have another dog, as saying goodbye to them was too difficult and painful. But although she didn't want to let Tilly go, she knew it would be best for the dog, who seemed to be in constant pain. However, while at the vet, something truly amazing happened. After giving the dog one last health check, the vet was surprised to see that her health had really turned around, and Tilly seemed to be improving. Surprised by what the vet told her, Maisie asked if the medication she had been given might have something to do with her dog's improved health. But the vet told her that it wasn't likely, since the medication was more of a pain reliever than something to cure her. Surprised to hear that, Maisie looked at Tilly and wondered, how could she have gotten better if she hadn't been given any proper medication to help her? But Maisie was fine, not knowing the answer and believing it was simply a wonderful miracle, because at that moment, Tilly came up to her and whined one last time before asking for petting and looking at her happily. From that moment on, Maisie knew Tilly would be okay. Her dog was not euthanized, and instead she took her home, where she continued to get better every day. Tilly ended up living a few more years as a healthy, happy puppy before passing away peacefully in her sleep at the age of 15. What an incredible miracle! Has anything like this ever happened to you? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing videos. And if you can't wait for new videos to come out, just head over to our channel, where you'll find more incredible stories to watch. See you next time.